Yeah, I did. I liked hockey, but I didn't know much about it. And
Yeah.
luckily for me, I did have a great technical advisor, my young friend Jake. But what I learned from writing, in the acknowledgments, I talk about the book being the book of 4 shoulder surgeries. I really did have 4 shoulder surgeries. And I thought of it just before the first one. And I began writing before the second shoulder surgery. That's a hard thing to say. I always end up saying shoulder. I mean, I can't even say it wrong now. Soldier surgery, whatever. But I finished the 4th draft by the 3rd surgery and started working with an editor by the 4th surgery. And what I learned was it was to offer suffering. My dear, dear, dear friend, Bishop Dudley, who I love like crazy, I got to spend time with him as he was on his deathbed. And he told me, first he told me his intention that he was suffering for, which was utterly selfless. That's all I'll tell you about that. It was so selfless. And he told me, if you're going to suffer, even for little sufferings, you should have an intention, in essence, in your back pocket. And so if you stub your toe or you fall or something, you should just have a little intention for that, always at the ready. But if you're going to suffer in a big way, you should really pray about what you want to offer that suffering for. And I didn't, I'd had other surgeries in the past that I thought were horrific. But nothing is quite like a shoulder surgery. And the joint moves in too many directions, I'm sure of it. And so I had an intention before I went into the surgery because of Bishop Dudley and offered it for that. And it wasn't for the book. But somehow by offering this suffering for this particular intention, I could think less of myself in a sense. I wouldn't be so involved in my own how bad this hurts and oh, poor me. And so I would think, well, what am I supposed to do today? Now, some days it's just lay there and get through it. But as I would get progressively a little better, I would have my sister drop me off at a coffee shop because I was bored of my own 4 walls. I couldn't drive. And so she would drop me off and I would sit from 2 to 5.5, 6 hours and just write. And I kept thinking, I'm doing it for this other intention, but by doing things for that intention, the fruit of it was I had this book. And in a certain sense, as I sit here today with you, I think, I don't recall doing any work for it. You know, that because it was for that intention, it was effortless in a way. Even though in the midst of it, it was a lot of work. But God, in His unbelievable giving and goodness, made it seem effortless.